There is already an AI that can take an entire work folder and simply finish everything for you. It's not summarizing, it's not organizing, it's completing it. Imagine that while you're in a meeting or having coffee or just living your life, there's an agent running on your computer, reading your files and taking care of everything you've been putting off for days. You point to a folder with messy receipts, it gives you a ready-made report. You hand over documents and transcripts, it finds the patterns and writes a complete briefing. You upload a form with more than 100 questions, it answers everything based on your files and even cites the sources. A folder goes in, the finished work comes out. This already exists and runs directly on your computer, and after you see it working, your to-do list will never be the same. Let's see how it works. So, let's get into it. Today, I'm going to show you Abacus Cowork, and its approach is different from pretty much everything you've seen in AI so far. Because here, it's not just about chatting, it's about getting things done. It works as an agent that operates directly on your computer's files, without needing to upload anything to the cloud. And behind this, there's a combination of models working together, each with a specific role. GPT 5.4 Thinking acts as the strategic brain responsible for deeper reasoning, planning, and complex decisions. Gemini Flash takes care of speed, providing quick responses, fast reading, and real-time execution. Kimi comes in when the volume of information is large, maintaining long context and organizing knowledge from multiple documents. And Gemini Pro is the one who finishes everything, ensuring that the result is well-structured, multimodal, and ready for professional use. And the most interesting part is that you don't have to choose any of this. You just describe what you want in natural language. And the whole system organizes itself to carry out the work from start to finish. So let's see all of this working in practice. Imagine it's the end of the month or the end of the quarter, and you have a folder full of receipts, reports, spreadsheets, and invoices. Everything coming from different places, and with no standard at all. Usually this turns into hours of opening file after file, checking values, cross-referencing data, and trying to put together a coherent report. Now if I use a prompt like this, analyze all the files in this folder, including receipts, spreadsheets, and reports. Cross-check the data with the available budget and identify inconsistencies, duplicates, values outside the norm, and any incomplete information. Generate the complete executive report with an overall summary, main issues found, severity classification, financial impact, and action recommendations. For each case, organize the results by department and include a consolidated table with totals and deviations in relation to the budget. Prompt entered. Now it's time to choose the folder. I'll click here on Select Folder, choose Folder, folder selected. Now just send the command. Notice that it analyzes the folder here on my computer. In other words, none of this happens in the cloud. Everything is related to the files I have here on my machine, and during this time, I don't need to do absolutely anything. The agents go to work. Each AI model with a specific task so that in the end, it gives me the best possible result. And look how cool, I can see in real time all the tasks that are being executed. Done, it's already finished. Here are the analysis results. 3 high severity inconsistencies, 2 medium severity inconsistencies, and 2 low severity occurrences. And then, if I want to view the file, the report it generated, I just need to open the document it saved in the folder here on my computer. Look, an executive report on expenses. Look at the quality of this material. I have the title here, a summary, a consolidated view, and a detailed analysis. It generated a 6-page report for me, containing everything I asked for. So, it's really impressive because with just a simple prompt, directing it to the folder, that I wanted not just to organize or summarize, but to use all the data that was there to create a report. With this material, it went there and did everything automatically. I just had to give the command and wait. Now take a look at this second example. Think of a more demanding corporate scenario. That huge questionnaire with more than 100 questions about security, architecture, compliance, and integration, where every answer needs to be based on documentation. Normally, this involves several people and days of work. But look at this prompt. Read the entire questionnaire and all the documentation available in this folder. For each question, find the answer based on the documents and fill it out in a clear, objective, and professional manner. Always include the exact source of the information, citing the document and the relevant action. If any question does not have sufficient answers in the documentation, explicitly indicate what is missing and suggest where this information could be found. Second prompt typed. Now I'm going to choose the other folder here on my PC, folder selected, just send the command. So, the coolest thing about this tool is exactly this automation. Since it has access to the folder I want, I can set the guidelines it will be able to use. So it doesn't go around copying everything I have here on my computer. I select exactly the folder I want to use. And from there, all the work is done without me having to perform any kind of manual action. Look, it's almost done here. Let's check it out. You can see that I have all my files here, including the completed questionnaire. Let's see how it turned out. And using only the sources I provided, it managed to answer a total of 120 questions here. Imagine if I had to do this manually. Once again, I just gave the command, pointed to the folder, and it did all the work by itself. In this last example here, we're going to a classic business scenario where you have supplier data, prices, sales, inventory, and margins. But everything is stacked in different spreadsheets and different periods. And the question is simple. Where are we losing money and what can we do about it? Normally, this turns into an entire analysis project, but check out this prompt. Analyze all the available data in this folder, including supplier prices, sales, inventory, and returns. Consolidate the information and identify where the biggest margin drops are, underperforming products, and possible supplier-related risks. Compare the costs with sales performance and highlight opportunities for improvement. And, in the end, generate a strategic report with detailed analysis, main problems identified, a ranking of suppliers and critical products, as well as clear action recommendations such as renegotiating, adjusting prices, reducing inventory, and stopping sales. Organize everything into well-structured sections and include tables and actionable insights. So, finally, here, with the prompt typed, I'll choose the specific folder. Now this one, supplier analysis, and let's send it. Another important detail is that this action here takes less than 2 minutes to complete. So, obviously, this will depend on the amount of data and the type of information you want. But for your daily routine, it won't take you more than 5 to 10 minutes to do a job that would normally take an entire day. Or even more. Done. Report generated successfully. Let's check it out. Look, the Strategic Commercial Performance Report, Executive Summary, Sales Performance, Monthly Sales Trends, Detailed Margin Analysis, Returns Analysis, Inventory Analysis, Supplier Analysis, and Ranking. In other words, a complete report done in less than, 5 or 6 minutes. A document that would probably take a long time to complete was delivered here in just a few minutes. So that's the magic, that's the essence of this tool. Why? Using just simple prompts, natural language in Portuguese, it doesn't have to be anything too fancy. You just say what you want, point to your folder, and the artificial intelligence does all the work for you completely automatically. Cool, right? The pattern here is pretty clear. You're not using AI to help you, you're using it to execute, and that completely changes the kind of work that's left for you. Because the operational part stops being a bottleneck, and the focus shifts to strategy, decision-making, and creation. If you want to try Abacus Cowork, the link is in the description and in the first pinned comment. The platform starts at $10 per month, with the first month costing about $7. So, you can try it out with no commitment and see for yourself how it works with your own files. Alright, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.
Highway is a ghost and the moon is a dime.